Hello everybody, so for those who find my video without going through my website, let me introduce myself. My name is Gilles Ortubise, and my name as a self-taught and multidisciplinary scientist and inventor is Gilles Lauzon Ortubise, and I am the owner and the founder of the first human multi-intelligence.com. So the title of this video is How Our Galaxy, the Milky Way, was born and how it has evolved so far, part 1. So I just took my text right away from my article, which is the black hole 404, then which is in reality black celestial sphere. So our galaxy Milky Way has at its center, and since its birth, a supermassive black celestial sphere, which is the most massive and the most powerful of the galaxy. Accordingly, what is the possible mass of our supermassive black celestial sphere, which is the most massive and powerful in our galaxy? The answer to this question is likely to logically represent a mass that is considerable. Also, according to the excerpt from the article Black Hole 404, which are actually black celestial spheres of all sizes, ranging from dwarf to giants, and these texts are published on my website firsthumanmultiintelligence.com, and which are number 17. So the paragraph would start by the number 17.22. On the other hand, according to the current knowledge and accepted by the scientific community, the mass of the solar system is 1.0014 mole, which is the mass of the of our sun. So as a mass for the sun, that is as high as 99.86. So that's incredible, because the mass of our sun is almost the entire mass of our solar system. So I keep continue regarding the mass of our galaxy, the Milky Way, and the supermassive black hole at its center, which is of course a black celestial sphere. And according to 3 excerpts from the article Voie lactée, which is where I took all of my information in French, because my mother is French. So, but I translate all of these French documents in English, so which is published on French Wikipedia, and which contain the last modification of February 12th on this year in 2022. Size and mass. So the Milky Way is the second largest galaxy in the local group, behind the Andromeda galaxy. The diameter of its disk is most often estimated between 100,000 and 120,000 light years. After studying spectroscopic data from LAMOST, which is in big letter LAMOST, which is the abbreviation of a big telescope, and the other with big letter is SDSS. Scientists indicate that its diameter can reach 200,000 light years. Although the number of stars behind 120,000 light years is very small. Its thickness of galaxy average about 1,000 light years. The next phrase, for comparison, if the solar system to the orbit of Neptune, where the size is 25 millimeters quaint, the Milky Way would be the size of the United States. Next phrase, the unicorn rings, a filament of stars that circle the Milky Way as it undulates above and below the galactic plane, may belong to galaxy. If so, the diameter of the Milky Way will rather be between 150 to 180,000 light years. The estimate of the mass of the Milky Way varies according to the method and the data used. The lowest value is 5.8 multiplied by 10 at 11. So explosion. So 5.8 multiplied by 10 explosion 11 of solar masses, significantly less than the Andromeda galaxy. Of course, because the Andromeda galaxy is bigger, so that's fine. The next paragraph, the galactic center includes an intense radio source called Sagittarius A, discovered in 1974, with a diameter of 45 million kilometers. In October 2018, the European Southern Observatory announced that the radio source includes a supermassive black hole. It will weigh between 4.1 and 4.5 million times the solar mass, which that kind of weight, then I'm not agree at all, because it's too small. So I had to add some information in the article to explain why I changed, why I modified my ideas about the black celestial flare and about the galaxy of the Milky Way. Then, so that's what I write. In the following, there are sentences or texts which are in double parentheses and which concern intellectual material which was published on June 10 in this year 2022. And among them there are sentences or texts which were proceed with an error of attention and which were not connected before their publication, and which were not corrected before their publication on my website, firsthumanmedicine.com, but which are corrected with sentence or text which are in triple parentheses and which date from September 30 this year 2022. Again, next paragraph, there are also new sentences and texts that are in triple parentheses and who serve to publish new and additional information which is published as September 30 this year 2022 on my website. And there are also new sentence or text that are in triple parentheses and which serve to be adjusted with the article, which is formation of one or more star and or black celestial sphere in a considerably short time, which is published on my website on July 31 this year 2022. So, and the term diameter, it must be replaced by the term of volume to facilitate the understanding of the concept about the one that I published on the formation of one or more stars and or black celestial flare in a considerably short times. Of this article which I published on June 10 this year 2022. So the next paragraph regarding its mass, which is estimated at 580 billion solar mass, it seemed to be acceptable considering the fact that these objects are considerably distant from us, and that they represent considerable difficulty to be overcome in order to carry out a fair calculation. So this is what I read before, but I make correction with this paragraph with regard of its mass, which is estimated at 580 billion solar mass. It seemed to be acceptable at first sight, considering the fact that these objects are considerably distant from us, and that they represent considerable difficulty to overcome to make a more accurate calculation. On the other hand, this mass of only 580 billion solar masses is acceptable for all objects that are outside of the supermassive black celestial sphere at the center of the Milky Way, because a black celestial sphere supermassive, which is capable of carrying in its motion a considerable quantity of objects, which is 580 billion solar mass. It must be a solar mass which is considerably higher than only mass, which is between 4.1 and 4.5 billion of solar mass, which is absolutely not enough to do it so. In addition, and in what follows, there are hypotheses, elements, potential explanation, and potential suggestion, which try to be the best to be put forward so far, and which are, so the paragraph which started by the number 17.22.1 by hypothesis regarding the mass of the supermassive black hole, which is actually a supermassive black celestial flare. It is estimated between only which is estimated only between 4.1 and 4.5 billion solar masses. And by hypothesis, it is false for several reasons, and among others, the following. Paragraph which started by the number 17.22.1.1. On the other hand, and by hypothesis, even if the mass of all objects in the universe is zero with respect to space, because space-time or the space fabric or the fabric of space-time does not exist, and aside from situation where an object happens to come into contact with the surface gravity of another object, which is the unique type of situation where an object is found to manifest mass and uniquely relative to the surface gravity force of another object. As an example, when an object that has a total maximum mass of 1 kilograms compared to the Earth maximum surface gravity force, and that subsequently it is found to come into contact with the maximum force of a surface gravity of Mars, its mass is found to be the same objects, its mass of the one which have 1 kilograms with the Earth's surface. In the Mars, its mass is found to be at 0.379 grams, which is much lower, of course. So, and in the fact that is exactly the same object. So, and when the same objects comes out of these two examples of maximum surface gravity forces, its maximum mass is found to be 0 gram, like that of all other objects in the universe that happen to be completely outside of a maximum surface gravitational force of another gravitational object. So that despite this logical and indisputable evidence of a mass of 0 gram for all objects in the universe, it's very hard to imagine, because most scientists believe in space-time or fabric of space-time, which does not exist, because they are intellectually handicapped by an earthly reflex. Why an earthly reflex? Because they are incapable of imagining the functioning of the universe without an attractive gravitational forces apart from the surface gravity force of an object like the Earth, for example. Nevertheless, all objects in the universe have a mass because they are made of matter, but this matter cannot manifest in a space where there is no surface gravity force of an object, which can manifest on this object and its matter. And that is the only reason why its mass is 0. On the other hand, and regarding the estimate of a mass which is between 4.1 and 4.5 million solar mass for our supermassive black celestial flare from the center of our Milky Way galaxy, she's appeared to be considerably less than a mass she should have. So, of course, because yes, the supermassive of the center of the galaxy, which have to bring with her so much big mass, then it's about 580 billion solar masses. So, of course, a small mass that it's only between 4.1 and 4.5 million solar mass. It is, of course, it is absolutely not enough to carrying all of this huge mass. So that's enough for this video. So I keep continue in the next video, which the text that follow this part. Okay, so thank you, have a nice day, and see you later.